Alrighty, boys and girls. Well, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the altcoin season and when should we expect that the actual bull market, right? The biggest altcoin season ever, where we see the actual 100x's coming to fruition, the actual 500x's, the actual 10,000x's, and even more, right? Because this chop is very, very good at getting people bearish. Buy high, sell low, get chopped up, start to lose your belief, start to think that we're going to go down, the bull market is over, and all that stuff. This is the devil chop, right? The devil now is lurking within this chopping period of the Bitcoin cycle and the crypto cycle. So this is when the data comes into play and we start to think logically and we try to see what's going on, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here, guys, right? I've been doing this morning, and I do this each time I start to doubt that we are gonna see a bull market, right? Because that's what the market wants you to do, right? It plays with your mind, and the only way to combat that is by looking at the data. So that's what we're gonna do. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So quick here, just to explain what's going on in this chart. So you know, this is the Bitcoin chart, right? The strongest, hardest assets the world has ever seen. And this purple line here, right? Purple is others, which is all other altcoins beside the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. So what do we notice? So here we have the yellow bar here is halving years, right? These are very important for Bitcoin because each time we see them, we start the actual bull market. So bear with me here. This purple line here is basically when we start to see the actual altcoin season, the biggest one ever, right? Bigger and 10 times bigger than what we've seen in 2023 and 2024 this far, right? So you see this part here, Bitcoin breaks above previous all-time high here, which is the 2013 all-time high, right? Breaks above it here, exactly, right? Like let's say here, breaks above it. And then later on, it took some time before we've seen the actual start of the altcoin season. It took around 180 days, which is almost 6 months, right? It took 6 months of Bitcoin just going up, right? Forget about sideways. Bitcoin going up with no altcoin season in sight. So you see what I had this here, this line is the start when we started to see this price picking up right here, right? You see this price started picking up. This is the actual altcoin season, right? And this was the 2017 season. This one we've seen XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all the Bitcoin replacers, right? The guys that tried to replace Bitcoin, and you start to see this. And the best time to buy was right before it, right? Was right before here. And here as well, Bitcoin was going up, right? Bitcoin was going up and this thing was going sideways, right? It's important to note. And the most important thing to take out from this here, from this 2017, is that the altcoin season took only 2 months, right? This is very important to note. And the only way to prepare for this altcoin season is to buy before it happens, right? It sounds simple. Most people don't do that, or most people sell here. In fact, if they actually bought the dips here or somewhere or within this range, they bought the dips and they sell high and stuff like that, especially the high conviction plays, right? And you're trying to outsmart the market. But then as soon as this starts, you're gonna be late, right? It's gonna be like 2 months and it's over, right? It's over. And once it starts, it doesn't stop, and you'll not get pulled back. And the whole thing we're trying to do here is to try to buy here. So moving forward into 2021 bull market, 2021 bull market, right? And I'm gonna show you also how long it takes between the halving and the actual altcoin season, right? That's also very important, something we want to be looking at. So let's shorten this, and you see as well, right? So I put this line, which is the start of the altcoin season, right after we've seen the actual pump. So I might actually move it a bit further here, right? So that's when the actual pump started, and you will notice the same thing here, right? So how long it took around 130 days, almost, let's say 4 months and a half, 5 months of like this thing trending higher with no pullbacks. And maybe most of you now remember this. Once it gave the pullback, it was kind of over, right? Or you had one more chance here. Here it took around 6 months to actually see the next altcoin season. So if you bought the dip, it kept ranging for almost 3 months. And I remember this time pretty well. Everybody was thinking that's it, it's over. And even if you bought here, you would not buy much because you think it's gonna go down, because the market would make people think it's gonna go down. So it's the big chunk of this altcoin season gets played in the first rally, and this first rally happens and it takes around 2 to 3 months, right? And it's over, right? 2 to 3 months, that's it. Is it you either make 100x or you made nothing, right? Or made 2x or you made 5x or you caught nothing. So everybody comes to the space here, to the crypto space, because they're trying to change their life. They're not trying to invest year over year and make 20% year over year. That's not what most people come here for. Most people come here for the 100x, right? That's what you are actually trying to achieve. And if we're trying to achieve this, we want to know that this thing lasts only 2 months and we spend the whole time preparing for it. It's like a sports team preparing for a big world event, right? They spend the whole year preparing for that actual 1 month of competition. And this is where that's what actually we're doing. So we buy before the actual thing happens, right? We buy and we wait and we hold and we pray that this actually is going to happen, which happens each time and every time after the halving. And now one more question is, you'll be asking that how long can we actually know exactly the point when that starts, right? How long it takes. So if we count from the halving here, in 2021 it took around 230 days, and in 2017 it took a bit longer, right? In 2017 it took double that. It took around a year and a half, right? It took from the halving to actually see that 2 months of altcoin season. And you'll see this, right? People waited for 2 years to only get 2 months of an altcoin season. It was over. And also back then here it was mainly a Bitcoin bull market, right? This is actually the first time when we started to see actually altcoins staying around and coming and staying around, like RP, Bitcoin Cash, stuff like that you still see today, stayed around, not like 2013. It was mainly a bull market led by Bitcoin, and most of the gains were made by just buying Bitcoin from the lows. Bitcoin made a big, huge run. And if you caught XRP, and very few, like back then also there were very few altcoins, right? It was very minimal, very few altcoins to choose and pick from. And that's why it also lasted very short. It was very quick, and it's very short. It took around 2 months, and also it took a long time for it to start because Bitcoin was the main player and everybody was just buying Bitcoin. Altcoins were not really a big thing, or were viewed as a very risky thing to buy, and very few people actually started buying stuff in here. That's why you see a very short spike in altcoins and others, and a very short 2 months of altcoin season. And because that was a bull market led by Bitcoin, it took a long time, 420 days. But then in 2020 everybody jumped very quickly on altcoins, so it took only 200 days, and people quickly started jumping on altcoins because they seen what altcoins did. They were the biggest gain generators, let's say 100x's, 200x's. People started to believe more into altcoins and start to buy them more as soon as Bitcoin started to confirm that actual bull market is here, right? And it took around 230 days, and then we seen this, and we actually had a longer altcoin season here. Here it lasted 3 months. In 2017 it lasted 2 months, and we can even argue that this actually lasted almost a year, or 7 months if we disregard this 3 months here. So 7 months total, where you've seen altcoin season and altcoins pumping, and you had a lot of gains, and you've made a lot of gains just by sticking to altcoins. And the best play here was just to buy and hold as usual. Buy before, buy after the halving, starts buying altcoins. And each time, as you can see, each time if you buy just altcoins after the halving, you do expect an altcoin season, and that's where you exit, right? And that's when it comes each time. It happened in 2017, it happened in 2020, and the most important part, as I said, it only lasts minimal time, like maybe 3 months. You've got here 3 months exact top or near the top, and then you've seen a very massive collapse, and you had to wait 3 months, and then you had another pump or push, and it was mainly led by different narratives here, right? We had gaming, we had NFTs, we have a different story than the one we had here with ETH killers like Avalanche, like EOS, Cardano, and stuff like that. Now, fast forward to today, we are seeing something very interesting, something very different than we've ever seen before, where Bitcoin pumps and altcoin starts pumping straight away. So you can see that now people are strongly believing that that's it, right? Altcoins, you don't care about Bitcoin now anymore. We just need Bitcoin to confirm that we are in a bull market, and then altcoin starts pumping. That's all, right? We've seen the first time ever to see that like massive push blow off top on altcoins, and then a cool off before the halving, right? That's the first time that we've seen this. Now, what this tells me is people now just want altcoins. They don't want Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, and especially now Bitcoin is institutional, is mainly for banks and big banks and the BlackRock kind, all that stuff, right? So what we noticed is we had, as soon as Bitcoin broke above 30K, we already started seeing a rally, right? It started here, and it took like here. If you I mean, in October 2023, you had also 161 days of an altcoin season, which was the biggest altcoin season ever witnessed so far, or the longest, right? This was the longest time we've ever seen an altcoin season last, and it was 160 days, right? So this time is different. So in 2017, this whole liquidity from this altcoin season that we witnessed would have gone to Bitcoin or majors, like top 10 cryptocurrencies. They would have gotten more liquidity from that, but instead we've seen this liquidity going towards altcoins, and especially meme coins. They were the highest gainers. And what this would make you think now is, all right, so everybody now wants altcoins, right? Everybody sees that, and everybody just wants altcoins. Everybody wants to do the 100x. So does this mean the time is shortened right now from the halving to the next altcoin season? So most likely yes, right? So if we notice, it kept shortening, and each time we had an even longer and more stretched out altcoin season with a more aggressive altcoin season with more gain. And now it might just keep growing, and we might just see this actual inflation on altcoin seasons where they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and like a tsunami after the other, right? And it might take just 200 days, let's say. Like the previously took 230 days, maybe now it's gonna take 180 days, who knows, right? But let's put it at around 200 days, which is gonna put us around November. If we do 180 days, it's gonna be around October, September, where we're actually gonna see the start, or it's gonna start coming back up, right? So if that's the case, this means that altcoins are possibly bottomed now, and we are at the actual bottom. And what makes me also think that is that ETH chart, right? If we look at ETH, we have a very different story now, and ETH is actually retraced all its gains from 2024, and you can see this actual support here on ETH here. It's the one that's held up here, and it was a resistance here, and now it's holding back up. So if we actually can confirm a push up on ETH here, and we see ETH coming back towards 3,200, 3,000, or just staying above 3,000, let's say, because the biggest resistance is around 2,900. So if actually ETH starts to close weekly candles or daily candles above this will confirm that we are actually coming back up on ETH. And this would actually confirm this, right? That we are actually bottomed now, where people are selling. Go figure, right? Everybody's selling now. Sell, sell, sell. It's over the bear market. Or I'm gonna sell now so I can buy lower if it dips again. And that's what people are doing. And you know, the herd is always wrong, right? The herd always loses. So it might actually be bottomed, because for it to actually take 200 days like we've seen previously, and to actually shorten over time and start to happen often, or starts to happen in a shorter period of time, counting from the halving, it should be bottomed now. Mean that we are getting there by October, November. We're gonna start to see new highs on others, right? On others, which means all other altcoins besides the top 10. And we might see other altcoins doing new highs way before that, but this is the market as a collective. It might start trending higher again, right? And one might see something like 2021, right? And even though it's a different story here, because was an actual bull market with no interest rates, with full-on money printing machine going brrr, right? With everything that is actually needed for the altcoin season. And now this, in my opinion, this pump here was just the market front running the bull market, right? Because as soon as Bitcoin broke above 30K, we started seeing this, because that's actually confirmed in people's mind. Oh shit, we are going higher. So it started that. So same thing will happen now. If Bitcoin starts to trend back up higher, this will trigger this to go back up too, right? Like the altcoins will start to rush even faster, where we're gonna see the next biggest altcoin season that will last maybe 2 to 3 months, and then you see another dump, and then another 2 to 3 months, and then it's over. And by the time it actually reverses back up and starts coming up, most of the coins that you will want to buy are gonna be at least 2 to 5x, if not 10x of the lows from today, right? Especially looking at ETH here. This would mean, as usual, we're gonna top around May next year. We're gonna see the blow off top on altcoins, and then another push back down, and then by the end of 2025 another dead cat bounce, or whatever it is, either gonna take the previous high or be shorter, and that's gonna be it, right? So what people do now is people bought the high here in March. This was the actual pick or top on everything, and now they are selling here because they think this trend is gonna keep going down, so they can buy lower and then they can sell higher, right? That's what they think. okay, but we've been on this downtrend for long enough now, since March, and it's been 5 months and it's got in counting, right? And the best time to buy here was here, right? So that was the best time. I do think now the best time is again here, right? And as soon as this starts, it's over, right? Meaning that you missed out on the biggest chunk, right, already of these pumps, right? Because most of the altcoins will do a 5x, and then from that 5x, they will, if they are at $5 million market cap now and they do a 5x, they're gonna be at $25 million market cap. And if they go to $100 million market cap, the guys that bought at 5 million, they would be up 20x, and the guys that bought at 25, they would be up only 4x, right? And that's the biggest difference, right? That's the biggest difference. So if you buy from 25 to $100 million market cap, you only made a 4x. And if you bought from $5 million market cap to 100 million, you made 20x, right? And that's the difference. And that's why you don't want to wait for the actual confirmation when it comes to these altcoins, especially that we know after each halving, we do have an altcoin season. Now, we still could go down, and you can still dollar cost average, in my opinion, right? Not financial advice, but that's what I would be doing. If I missed this part here, I'm now accumulating here because I understand this exact math, right? $5 million market cap to 100 million is 20x, but by the time this confirms actually that we are in a bull market, this $5 million market cap coin will be at 25 million. It will already have done a 5x from the lows, and if you buy at 25 and it goes to 100 million, you only made a 4x, but the guys that bought at 5 million would have made 20x, right? And then some people will buy at 100 million, and then they will be waiting for a 2 or 3x. Then if it goes to 300 maybe, right, or it goes to 500, and they will do a 5x, right? It goes to 500 million, and they will do a 5x from 100 million to 500 million. Then the guys that bought at 250, right, would make 20x, but then the guys that bought at 5 million would make 100x, right? Would make 100x. And that's the difference. So this is just to make it simple and to show how these things work, right? If you buy high and you're selling now because you're expecting lower, and you might miss the actual altcoin season that happens only once in a lifetime, you might be selling the bottom to buy higher at 100 million to make only a 5x, and then the guys that bought now at 5 million would do 100x. And then the guys that bought at 25 million, if they sell at 500 million, would do 20x. And then the guys at 100 million would do a 5x. And then if this coin goes to 1 billion, the guys from 500 million will do only a 2x. And you can see now how this actually diminishes the higher you enter, right? Or the longer you wait for something to confirm that you are actually going for an altcoin season that only comes every 4 years and that lasts only 2 months. And that's what we're all playing for here. So that's just a heads up of what to expect and when to expect it, and how to play this right? How to play it the right way. And especially with this Bitcoin ranging, right? Bitcoin ranging, it's like a snake trying to play games on you, right? It's kind of moving in the sand, left and right. You don't know the exact direction it is going for. But when you look at the data and you see what it does, usually you know what happens, right? You know that after the halving, we do get a massive altcoin season that lasts 2 to 3 months only. 2 to 3 months only, and with no pullback, and you might just end up making a 5x total, right? If you actually wait for that to actually happen, just a 5x, that's the risk, right? The risk is you only make a 5x to a 10x maybe best, or buy before it happens, and then you actually put yourself in a position where you can make 100x or even more. And we've seen this with a lot of coins. Now obviously this is the data that we've seen over and over and over. We don't know if it's gonna repeat, but it's been repeating since 2017, since 2016. It just kept repeating exactly the same thing, happens over and over and over and over. It's just that the markets are so perfect, are so good at getting people shaken and getting everybody shaken out and everybody thinking something is gonna happen, and instead the opposite of that thing happens, right? So it's all here, guys, all here. Bitcoin after the halving rallies, then sometime after that we see an altcoin season that lasts 2 to 3 months. Happened in 2017, happened in 2020, 2021, and it's most likely gonna happen again, and even bigger, because you can see now people are very in tuned with altcoins. That's what they want. As soon as Bitcoin just pushes a little bit higher, higher. That's it. And that shows you, right, this high here in this peak, this never happened before. Just mind you, never before the halving we've seen a big altcoin season like this one. So this tells me that as soon as Bitcoin breaks above 75k with strength and confirm that this is a bull market, by that time this will already be here. It's already be here, and then we're gonna start this massive run, and most of the people will be late. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Just to touch on quickly on what's going on with altcoins and meme coins that we are on here now. You know by now, right? If you're new to the channel, meme coins are gonna be the biggest gainers, whether you like it or not. They are gonna be, and they've been since 2023, the biggest gainers. Your VC utility crap is not gonna do much, and it's just gonna keep bleeding. But all meme coins are gonna be the biggest gainers, right? I'm not gonna explain on today's video why, but that's there. Pepe now is at 3.4, 3.5, 3.3, 3.4 million billion with a B market cap. Today is just the market is just either sideways, something is up, something is down. It's just the way it is, right? Because it's the chopping time now. Chop. But it's the best time to be buying. So the plan remains the same. Pepe is going to be the biggest gainer, or it's going to flip Shiba Inu. Dog with Fat in BONK are going to be the top and stay the top. Solana meme coins, maybe Popcat now, but Popcat is seen a huge retrace, but still is a strong meme coin right now on Solana. Floki, base Brett as well. And we've got Brett on ETH and some other low caps like Dorklord that I shared with you, Dorky. And the plan remains the same, right? All these meme coins are gonna do very well. They are gonna be way higher from today, way higher from today's prices once we're gonna see this playing out, way higher, right? And the landscape will not change much. And the fact that Pepe is gonna flip Shiba Inu just means we're gonna start a Pepeverse season. If you're new here, Pepeverse is coins related to Pepe, because the previous meme coin season started with Dogecoin and everybody started to launch coins with a dog face in their logo or dog something, right? That's how it started. Not because people like dogs, but because Dogecoin launched actually in 2013 and stayed around, randomly got picked up by Elon Musk, and then started a Dogecoin frenzy dogs related meme coin season, right? This time we actually believe it's gonna be Pepe, not because Elon Musk is gonna tweet about it, but because it's a new shiny object syndrome kind of thing, right? With Pepe being the strongest meme coin ever, and a new kind of character, which is a frog, boys club stuff, right? Matt Furry, which is a comic book, Matt Furry's comic book, and this will ignite that Pepe looking coins. Like we've got already Brett on base did hit almost $2 billion in its market cap. We have another Andy on ETH, and we have Brett on ETH, and we have a Dorklord. We have many, right? That's the reasoning behind that. Then we have top altcoins or top meme coins on their blockchain, like Coquino, right? Coquino on Avalanche, and you've got Toshi on Base, and you got Snake on Cardano, right? And Arbitrum, Arbdoge, AI Doge or whatnot is on Arbitrum. These are different kind of meme coins and top of their blockchain. This is basically you leveraging a blockchain. If you believe Avalanche is going to be a very strong blockchain, then instead of buying the actual token, which is going to do you a 2x, let's say if we look at Avalanche, right? AVAX. Right? If you believe AVAX is gonna do you a 2 or 3x, or it's a strong blockchain if you buy now and it comes back to all-time high, which is not really something these things do, but let's say it just come back here, it's gonna be a 4 to 5x, right? And you thinking, oh, I don't want to do a 5x, and you will be right, because you're not here for a 5x. You will want to do a 100x, let's say, or a 50x. Then you will leverage the chain, because people, as soon as they're gonna start seeing Avalanche pumping, they will want to buy stuff within the ecosystem. It's also means when Avalanche is pumping, this also means that people are trading within the blockchain. The same thing that we've seen with Solana and Solana meme coins. That means also that means liquidity is flowing into it, and there is a shark in there, which is Coquino, which is the biggest meme coin there, right? Which is Coquino waiting for liquidity to come, and that's gonna be your bet, right? And it goes for every chain. For now, what we believe is ETH is gonna be the leader, and it's been previously over and over. ETH is being a leader in the previous cycle. When you see this pump here, on Bitcoin, it was actually outperforming. It was a very strong, you can see here, right? So you see here, it actually did bounce first and was one of the strongest altcoins. I remember back in the days here, it was one of the strongest. It did not want to stop. It was just grinding higher and higher and higher and higher. And now, as I shown you, it is at support and one of the major supports, and it's massively underperformed recently. And it's just showing me that it's close to support and it's about to start bouncing. And it just recently had an ETF and everybody got eyes on it right now, and it's gonna start to pump, which means more liquidity coming into it. It means meme coins on ETH or Ethereum are gonna start being the outperformers, the ones that are gonna pump the hardest, right? Then we're gonna see a rotation towards other chains. Then we're gonna have to see which ones are gonna start to get picked up. Maybe Cardano, maybe Avalanche, maybe we're gonna see a base chain season again, and Toshi is gonna pump. Maybe we're gonna see an Arbitrum season. Maybe we're gonna see like a Chrono season. There are so many other chains out there that we don't know which one is gonna play out. But it is now next, right? After Solana, it's gonna be it, and then we're gonna have different story, different blockchains. But that's the play game now, right? We've got a very distinct narrative like the Pepeverse narrative, and then we have the second one, which is meme coins at the top of their blockchain. And the reasoning is simple, because as I just explained with Avalanche, is as soon as liquidity is gonna start to come, the biggest sharks in it are gonna start eating from that liquidity. They're gonna start growing and be getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Until they reach a certain amount of like max liquidity reached, right? No more liquidity coming, and that's gonna be it, right? Like we've seen recently with Breton Base, as now liquidity is choking. No more base chain liquidity is getting into the base chain, and it's choking Breton Base. So anyways, guys, as you see, a big altcoin season is coming ahead. If we just leave emotions aside, right, and leave all the bullshit aside and whatever everybody's opinion is, right, and we just look at what's happened in the past and try to figure out what's gonna happen now, and you just seen it, right? It is not me or my opinion or nobody's opinion, actually. This is actual pure data. This is actually it here, right? Public data that after the halving, after some point, we do see an altcoin season after the halving, which we haven't seen yet, right, today. And it lasts around 2 months, 3 months here, and then 2 months here, and then here it was around 2 months again, and then we're gonna not have another one. That's the actual data. What's the actual data saying? So all you gotta do now is find those winners, DCA dollar cost averaging, slowly buy into stuff, right? Stop buying, hold stuff that you believe in. Don't try to trade because you're gonna get wrecked, right? Don't try to time the market. It's not gonna do you any good, right? The best strategy is to DCA dollar cost average, wait for getting here and wait for that, right? And get out and then repeat again, right? And sell here, and then now you are getting in, and then you're waiting for this to get out. That's about it here, guys. So don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna keep you updated. We're gonna keep track on that. And thank you so much for watching today's video till the end. Love you all, and see you on the next one. Cheers.